What could be more appropriate on this Halloween than to talk about psychologically affected properties? Imagine you finally find your dream home, the perfect kitchen, a great neighborhood, and then one morning you step into the shower and find the words, "Get out," written on your mirror. Would you panic? Would you sue? Or would you just grab your coffee and say, "Good morning, friendly ghost"? Today we're diving into one of the spookiest and most misunderstood parts of the real estate. Haunted houses, deaths, and crimes tied to a property. And whether you actually have to tell anyone about it. What could be more fitting on this Halloween day in 2025? Okay, so here's where things get interesting. In real estate law, there's a term for homes with a story. It's called psychologically affected property. In Indiana, that can include homes where someone died, where a violent crime occurred, or even where there was drug activity or a police shooting. Sounds like a Netflix true crime series, right? But here's the plot twist. Sellers don't have to disclose any of that unless the buyer asks directly. So if you're walking through a charming 1920s bungalow and you don't ask whether anyone ever died there, the seller is completely within their rights to stay silent. Wild, right? So here's a true haunted story. And it started it all. Central Casting could have used this story and it could have been straight out of a horror film. A buyer moves in, takes a shower, steps out, and sees "Get out" written on the fogged up mirror. She calls her broker, terrified. After they've contacted via the list agent, the seller casually says, "Oh yeah, it's haunted, but don't worry, they're friendly ghosts." Now here's the question. Should that have been disclosed? According to Indiana law, nope. A haunted house doesn't qualify as a psychologically affected property because the law doesn't recognize hauntings as real phenomena. So unless you ask directly about it, there's no obligation to tell you. Let's simplify this. Indiana says you don't have to disclose death, crime, or supernatural events unless a buyer asks. But, and this is a big one, you cannot lie if asked directly. So if a buyer says, "Has anyone ever died here?" Or "Was there ever a crime here?" You, Mr., Mrs., or Ms. Seller, must answer truthfully if you know. Here's to put it in simple English. Ask equals disclose. Don't ask equals don't tell. And for my fellow real estate pros out there, that means don't get creative with the truth. If you know something and you're asked, you have to disclose it also. But otherwise, you're not legally required to volunteer the information. So what does this mean for buyers? If you're superstitious or you just want peace of mind, ask the question and be specific. You can even put it in writing during due diligence. Has anyone died in this home? Has the home been a scene of a crime? Remember, your comfort level matters just as much as your inspection report. And if you're a seller, this is your reminder. Transparency builds trust. Even though the law doesn't require you to say anything spooky, honesty often prevents post-closing trauma. So here's my take. How about turning a haunted listing into a hot listing? Now here's the billionaire mindset part. Even a haunted house can be marketed creatively. Think storytelling, unique charm, historical appeal. The key is to lean into curiosity, not fear. After all, every property has a story, and the right buyer might actually love that history. Remember, real estate isn't just about square footage. It's about emotion, energy, and imagination. So what do you think? Would you live in a haunted house if it meant saving, say, $50,000 off the price? Or would you run for the hills? Drop your answer in the comments below. I'll be featuring the funniest and most creative responses in my next video. And hey, if you're thinking of buying or selling in Indiana, Haunted or not, reach out. My contact info is in the description. Oh, by the way, you like the hat? But I'm really Susan Roberts with Homes by Roberts Realty, brokered by EXP. Whether your dream home is peaceful or paranormal, I'll help you get it sold or see you on the other side of sold. Remember, in real estate, knowledge isn't scary. It's power. Happy Halloween to you and all you witches and goblins and ghouls.